Edmund the General, also known as the brand, coming at you guys again with a little video right here. This is a really disturbing scenario right here. In order for you to get exactly what you want, how often do you need to complain? Who do you need to complain to get things done? Here's an example, right? I'm like going to the Northwood. We got this house right across where that new building is that we got right here. Pumps drugs all day. You see drug dealers going in and out. You see customers going in and out. Cops are definitely alerted by the neighbors. They come and tell me, hey, you know what? I just reported this, I just reported that, but the cops ain't doing nothing. 13th Division in Toronto apparently does nothing. They contacted the police as well, talking to other agencies. So people are making attempts in order for the betterment of society to go on. Especially if there's a neighborhood that's congested with drugs and bullshit, alcohol, and things of that nature. They're in the process of trying to gentrifying it, but you still got a house like that right across from that new spot, south on Oakwood. As soon as you get off Eglinton, you go south, right across from that brown building where the house is. Right across, there's a house pumping drugs, dealers, crackheads, all the time. They do nothing. You got another situation here. Rentals. Do you live in a house that you're renting? Do you live in an apartment that you're renting? Are the superintendents doing anything to help? Are you launching complaints day after day, month after month, year after year in hopes that probably your ceiling that's cracking probably won't fall on you? Probably the popcorn that's up there is withering away and falling into your food. Probably your counter is destroyed. Probably your sink is messed up. There's probably a list of demands that's going on. Probably in the building, the stairs are falling, are withering away. There's probably holes in the ceiling. You're probably seeing pipes go as you go along the line. Probably the backyard that you're renting right now. Probably something's going on over there. There's like a pothole going on. Probably you need to get some new shingles. Probably there's like a leak happening in your roof. You're making the complaints to the people who are supposedly owners and who are next in charge. You're doing this forever, but you're not seeing any results. What does it take for action to take place before somebody just takes it into their own hands and just does something about it? Let's take a look at 500 Dawes Road, Daws Road. It's a complex fined for $300,000 for safety violations. You guys need to take a look at these pictures. This is disgusting. So, I'm going to read something to y'all. Pay attention. This is from... Anyways. Following a push for enforcement and what advocates argue is one of the most notoriously neglected rental buildings in Toronto. The company listed as the owner of 500 Dawes Road and a director have been sentenced after being convicted under Ontario law. To get to this point, where they got to get convicted and get to all this stuff. This is some, anyways. Healthcare Investments Inc., the registered owners of 500 Dawes Road, as well as Carolyn Krebs, a director at the firm, were sentenced in a provincial offences court on Tuesday. According to a statement issued by Toronto Fire Services, the court imposed a fine of $300,000 on the Healthcare Investments Inc. and a separate fine of $20,000 on Krebs, plus a mandatory 25% victim fine surcharge in connection with charges laid under the Fire Protection and Prevention Act. The charges were laid after fire safety requirements were not met at 500 Dawes Road. Have you ever been to an establishment, a house, or building, apartment, and you notice that there's something up with the wiring? You plug in something here, you plug in something there, but for some reason all the power goes out. You're probably missing outlets. You're probably missing outlets in certain parts of the home. There's probably not enough outlets in your home, whether that be a house or an apartment. Ever been to that situation before? Probably there's cockroaches running all over the place. 1 minute. Let me tell you an example. Let me give you an example. I was doing some work at a building, and the place was vacant because what I would do was I would prepare the apartment for the next person to come in to view the actual apartment. So what I would typically do is I would go into the apartment, I would make sure that I would get all the holes in the drywall done. If I need to repair any drywalls, I'll repair it, or I'll do a full replacement. It has anything to do with the carpentry as well in there, whether it be cupboards, flooring, anything like that, I'm that guy. When it comes to even the wiring, having it fished through the ceiling, that's me. So it came to a point for this particular apartment. I was about to do some fishing of the wire so I can go from point A to point B, so I can eventually get all those wiring back to the actual what I'm looking for, panel, the electrical panel. So I'm busting one hole in the ceiling, busting one hole on there, fishing the wire. Everything's cool. I bust another hole in the room because I gotta, anyways. As I bust through the hole there, I'm starting to notice a fucking roach coming through. I'm not used to that kind of stuff, but it's my job. I gotta keep going. As I'm going and I'm busting holes here and here and there, here and there, I see an abundance coming through the bottom area where I have to fit one of the actual outlets. Because that there's no food in this actual apartment, all the roaches, they're not gonna be sticking in that apartment. I'm not food. I don't have any food with me, and there's no food in there anyway. So you know what they end up doing? They go to the next apartment. You know what they're doing? They're going under the door. They're going through the actual pipes. Did you guys know that the roaches would actually climb through the pipe into your actual basement? I've seen that, though. That's disgusting. Came to a point where I finally finished all that I need to do. All the roaches were gone. I go out into the hallway. I'm about to go home. Go on break. Roaches are all over the place, all over the walls. I see them scurrying under each and every one of everyone's doors. By the time that I had to leave, which was like around 6 o'clock, they're falling from the ceiling. Obviously, supers are alerted. You know what they do? You know what? That's another topic, another day. But y'all know, for a lot of y'all, if y'all are gonna go through that situation, let me just tell you, in general, if the landlord or superintendent is just gonna do one apartment, be clear, those roaches are gonna scurry to the other apartments, and everyone else is gonna be fucked. They have to do a universal, every apartment has to be done. Pest free. Every apartment in that damn building. There's no one singular. They have to do the entire thing. My opinion from what I've seen. Because when one apartment gets done, or gets fumigated, they're just gonna move on to the next, and the next, and the next. According to a statement issued by Toronto Fire Services, the court imposed a fine of $200,000 on Have Care Investments Inc. and a separate fine. I already said all that. Fire Chief Jim Jessup said the sentence highlights the importance of property owners meeting their responsibilities under the Ontario Fire Code. Compliance with the Ontario Fire Code is not optional. It is a legal obligation that exists to safeguard lives, property, and the safety of responding firefighters. When these requirements are not met, the consequences can be serious and far-fetching, he said in a release. Property owners are responsible for ensuring their buildings meet fire safety standards at all times. Not sometimes, all time. Where there is failure to comply, Toronto Fire Services will take appropriate enforcement action to hold those responsible accountable and reduce the risk to residents and communities. Before I even read on, let me see something here, right? If the tenants from this particular building have been going through this for so long, whoever knows how long it's been going through, probably as I read, I'll find out. But let's just say, for example, they've been going on for this like for years. Is it safe to say that they should be getting a rent reduction or free rent for X amount of time? I'm in all favor for that. What do you think? If you, as a tenant, or even as a collective, have been going through issues throughout the entire building, throughout your apartment, and you guys are not getting any justice at all, but you guys finally get it, shouldn't there be some form of reward? Reduction, like 50% off, and you guys get that for like the next whatever amount of years that you had to go through that, plus an extra 10. Or just free rent for X amount of years. That's what I'm thinking. That would be the right thing to do, or the proper thing to do. Krebs was also hit with $200,000 worth of fines in April by the Ontario Court of Justice for failing to comply with the 2024 Property Standards Order in relation to the same property. So this is nothing new for this person, Krebs. The decision was in addition to numerous fines and fees dating back to 2017. She's been holding on to this. They have been holding on to this since 2017. How many tenants have moved in and out? Who were the people coming through as representatives to showcase these apartments? Who are the individuals, the construction people responsible for going into these apartments and fixing it? Who's responsible for the safety for going into these buildings and ensuring that everything is up to code? Taking a look at the pipes, taking a look at the infrastructure, taking a look at the floors, the ceiling, the electrical. Who has been doing all this for all this time if this has been since 2017? I can only imagine how further down this has been going on. In addition, the landlord was convicted under the Fire Protection and Protection Act in connection with safety violations at another property she owes at 608 Dawes Road last month. The sentence carried a fine of $120,000 and 15 days in custody, plus a mandatory 25% victim fine charge. Or I should say, fine surcharge. The building at 500 Dawes Road became infamous for what tenants described as decades worth of repair backlogs and thousands of complaints related to numerous pests crumbling ceilings, deteriorating balconies, unsafe conditions, and poor maintenance. I didn't even read that, and I already had that thought. Because to get to this point of fines and fines and fines and fines, this person has been probably paying somebody off. You're supposed to be getting checked at all times. I would say every year or something along those lines. Especially when it comes to even your fire extinguisher, right? You're supposed to be like a firefighter is supposed to come in to check it off every year. And if you see that tag, you're supposed to show every year that somebody went in there to inspect it. Now, if that person who's a firefighter or whatever who went in there, I could be wrong with who's supposed to be going in there to check the fire extinguisher. I could be wrong. But somebody's going in there to check, and if they're taking a look at the entire building as they're walking, there's certain areas of the building where they would have fire extinguishers. They would see, oh shit, this place is hot. You're not making a report? The extensive problems prompted a visit by Mayor Olivia Chow. I need to probably talk to her to take action about what's going on at Eglinton and Oakwood. Especially that house right across the street from where they got that new spot south on Oakwood, right across the street, that house that keeps pumping drugs. Probably she might do something about it. Rob Ford might not do anything. Probably the other guys might do nothing. 13th Division doesn't do anything. The extensive, so looks like Olivia Chow forced the city of Toronto to oversee. Let me get this right. The extensive problems prompted a visit by Mayor Olivia Chow and forced the city of Toronto to oversee urgent repair work earlier this year after the city moved to strengthen its enforcement tools. That's one article. Chow visited Tenants in the Beaches, East York high-rise on Monday, located near Victoria Park Avenue and St. Clair Avenue East, outlining how newly strengthened enforcement powers are being used to enforce actions after years of deteriorating conditions. She says, "I will not tolerate slum landlords in our city," Chow said during the visit. "Our work at 500 Dawes is a message to all landlords that refuse to fix their buildings. The city will not stand by and allow it. We're helping with the basics. These are things we take for granted but are denied to these tenants because their landlord refuses to fix them. All renters deserve the safe and healthy living conditions." Olivia Chow seems to be on the right path. Probably Mayor Ford's too busy. Probably 13 Division's too busy. Probably the people from Eglinton and Northwood, they're not shouting loud enough about these people around here. Probably that's what's happening. What's funny, everyone talks about that house across the street from that new building that was put up. What is it? Right across that house? Where we would always see people going in and out, drug dealers, crackheads, customers going in and out. Probably everyone tells me about that. What am I supposed to do about that? I can't do nothing about these people. But apparently they keep telling the other people about it. They keep talking amongst themselves. Apparently they're talking to the police about it from what they're telling me. But what can I do about it? Well, I'm glad something's going to be done about 500 Dawes Road. I'm glad that Olivia Chow has actually been stepping in, using her powers for good. It's great to see. Really great to see. Wishing you guys all the best. Edmund the General signing out. Peace.